of social context, but into this for the first time in my life. So I didn't really fit in with the rest of my class. And the other students in the other class, the colored students in the other class, didn't want me in their group as well because you are with the white people. So I ended up for like 3 or 4 months eating my sandwiches in the toilet all by myself because I didn't know what to do. Then I met a girl, and she was also like the outcast of the white students because she was seriously obese. So the two of us became friends because afterwards we realized that she was waiting outside of the toilets for me to finish my sandwiches for her to go in to eat her sandwiches by herself. So the two of us became friends. And one day she told me that she got a hiding, her father gave her a hiding because it came out that she's friends with a colored girl at school. And she was very sad, she was crying about it. And I couldn't understand why would she get a hiding because of being friends with me. Because my mother was taking me by the hand to all the neighbors saying that Renee had vachomis. So why is this on the one side being seen as a success to have a white friend and a colored friend on the other side is not success, it's like downgrading. So long story short, they moved to Witpoortjie, and I think 4 years ago we met up on Facebook and we started talking about this again. And I mean, as a 13-year-old, it's very difficult to deal with that question. And even as I'm 36 now, it's still difficult to deal with that question. Have you ever experienced that in your situation as well?
Okay, so could you start with some responding, and then Kim, and then we take it back to the room.
I think, to be honest, when I reflecting back and trying to answer your question, which I won't do justice to, is that I think there was something, again, when my friends started asking about Kim as well. There's something about, and I think it's the universalness of whiteness in one level, the structure and how white people have been constructed and how black people have been constructed in the process, where having a white friend, it means certain things. Even in the township, if I have to go with Kim to my township, it means I have arrived. There is an element of the status, the currency of it, because we seek for it, where do you go for better schools? You go to white schools, or previously white schools, where do you go for better higher education? You don't go to, some people go, like rural people and semi-rural people will go to Fort Hare, but if you're part of the elite, you come to Stellenbosch, UCT, and so on, Wits University. You don't go now these days to the People's University, which is UJ, So, and it comes with it, what becomes better? And I think there is something that we also as black people have to question in ourselves. What does that mean? Knowing English with an accent. The other time when I remember I was presenting somewhere, and it was like, all these bourgeois, I like class, like these, I didn't go to a white school, so, so there was like these bourgeois black people, with the accent, the right accent, that sounds so white. Like, when you don't see them close their eyes, they sound like white people. So, like, it's extraordinary for me. And like, my master's was based on that, the black middle class, the formation of the black middle class, and what does it mean in this context where, and it's something about, and that we don't strongly as black people, and I'm including coloreds and so on in that group in the Bakerite way of black, where we, the aspiration, and I think also because of apartheid, what it did to us, like in colonial, the aspiration of being a better human is, and having opportunities, or as Du Bois will say, there's a veil for black people, and you have to enter that veil. And what is that veil when you enter it? It's whiteness, opportunities, liberty, rights, humanity, and so on. You have to enter that veil. And we do it every day in our practices. We do it every day in terms of how we do it, and also how the government says, now they're talking about township economy, it's highly problematic because, there's some economy, then there's like the township economy, that needs to be done with. And I think those battles, I think it's also amongst black people, we have to seriously think through what whiteness means for us and our entrance, into the spaces, and what does it mean for our own construction of blackness in that process. And I think the more, as people, especially black people, as the upper we move, the more accents we have of white people, the more entrance of private school, and the more culture that we have to have the fork and knife and eat it in this particular way. I eat sushi and I eat whatever else that actually makes you more cultured or civilized, that it means white people. What does it mean for us? And I think that conversation hasn't started. And I think we are, as black people, we're scared sometimes to admit we are complicit in this project of emboldening whiteness, and what does it mean in terms of our own humanity, and what it meant as well for being inferior and not actually acknowledging. I'm not saying we should go to the Africanness and Bantuite, but I think we have to be very critical also in those projects as well. And I think, trying to understand that, and I think that there's a battle there. And I'm assuming also in the colored area, when you went to the white schools, they saw you differently. It's like your parents have made it a bit, you have better education, that's why you're this and that's why you're that. And I think those conversations have to happen. And now, the kind of communities where you come from, I don't know where you come from, but also how they see you as not one of them, but that coconut or whatever else it's used. And what does it mean for us as well, as a collective as well? I think those are the conversations we also have to have, and we haven't had enough of that.
And my mom came to stay with us. And Norma, Musa's partner, came to stay with me and my mom at one stage when she came down for something. So I think it's been easier on me somehow, and maybe that's because of the assimilation thing, where it's just easier for white people, it seems. Like we don't have to struggle with so much, and that's maybe an example of it. The ease at which we can do this, the sense of it not having to challenge us so much, because spaces are still predominantly white. So
you said something to Kim. Said tell them about when your mom visited. What for you is that memory? Can you share what that memory is?
Was because she came and we had a 2-bedroom, so like the first is like, oh God, where she's gonna sleep. But it's like, okay. So it's the first time for me seeing 2 white people sharing a bed together. I never thought what happened. Like in my head, I never comprehended that event, that actually they can share a bed, because as we do it and it's normal, and for the first time actually that stuck with my mind, and I just realized sometimes when circumstances forces you to share, you find yourself people sharing, and it's not a big deal because we do it in funerals, when there's weddings, everybody sleeps wherever you can find a spot. So for the first time seeing white people was very interesting for me, and it was eye-opening, and I don't know what it means, but it was a shock. and also engaging with her. She is a parent, and she can be strict to Kim, the way of having fights there. But it's the way they also they're friends. I'm assuming maybe I grew up with a strict, but I don't know. But there's certain ways that we speak to our parents that they speak as friends, which was very insightful. I don't know if I'm not speaking to all black people, probably has changed the world. But there's elements of friendship that they can talk about, discuss it as if they're friends, where there's no parent in a strict, my mother's and this and that. They were also friends, which was interesting for me, that sense of respect and, not respect, but of authority was not as vivid as usually you see in some black families, not all, but some black families as well.
We're going to have a last round of questions. So can you bring there's one here, there's one I can see you 1, and then 2 at the back, and then 3. So these 3 sum. It looks like it's going to be difficult to close this down. So can you start? Nomusa, can you bring the microphone here, please? Actually, why don't you take mine? And then why don't you stay that side? Why do we decide whether it's going to be? Okay, we'll have one last round. So yes, please go ahead.
My question is for both of you. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to answer it, but with regards to Kim's first experience dating a black man, and then for Musa now coming into contact with like this fragile masculinity or patriarchy, like how do you deal